Browns defensive end Alex Wright secures Cleveland's first turnover in London. The Cleveland Browns have collected their first turnover of the day against the Minnesota Vikings, thanks to the forced fumble by defensive end Alex Wright. Minnesota's offense was driving down the field with ease before the Browns forced a fumble by Vikings running back Jordan Mason. The team collected 36 yards in 5 plays before Alex Wright punched the ball loose, and Cleveland recovered it at the Minnesota 47-yard line. Wright has been very solid for Cleveland with his 3 combined tackles and 1 sack, but this is easily his best play of 2025 so far, and is not expected to be his last turnover of the season. The Browns' defensive line has also been very solid this season, but forcing turnovers has not been part of their dominant reputation. The Browns now start their second drive of the game with solid field position for rookie Dillon Gabriel. We'll see if the Browns' defensive line has a few more game-changing plays up their sleeve, which they will most likely need in this tough matchup. First off, they'll need to find a way to stop the Minnesota offense from succeeding, as they were on the last drive before the turnover. This article originally appeared on Browns Wire. Alex Wright secures Cleveland's first turnover of the day in London. The fog over London had barely lifted when Alex Wright made history. It was supposed to be just another game, another international showcase for the NFL, but by the time the final whistle blew, Wright had etched his name into the Cleveland Browns lore with one seismic play that turned the tide. At Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, surrounded by a sea of Browns and neutral fans alike, Wright delivered what could only be described as a spark born from chaos. The Browns' defense had been bending, straining against the relentless drive of the opposing offense. The ball moved with surgical precision, carving through short passes and quick runs. The Browns needed a jolt, something, anything, to stop the bleeding. And that's when Wright pounced. The play that changed everything. Early in the second quarter, with the opponent marching toward midfield, Wright exploded off the edge. The offensive tackle never stood a chance. Like a lion emerging from the brush, Wright lunged, timing perfect, hands violent, heart pounding. The quarterback never saw it coming. One hit, one bounce, one moment that froze an entire stadium. The football popped loose, spinning awkwardly on the wet turf like a bar of soap in a storm. Wright didn't hesitate. He dove, wrapping his massive arms around the ball before rolling over and thrusting it toward the London sky as the whistle shrieked. Cleveland's first turnover in London. It wasn't just a fumble recovery. It was a statement. The sideline erupted, defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz pumping his fist, Myles Garrett lifting his helmet toward the crowd, and the dog-pound fans who'd flown across the ocean letting loose a roar that echoed through North London. For a franchise that has battled for identity, for consistency, and for pride, this was a glimpse of what the new Browns are becoming. Resilient, opportunistic, and ready for the big stage. A defensive dream come true. For Alex Wright, the moment carried more meaning than most realized. Drafted in 2022 out of UAB, he entered the league as a raw talent. Long, fast, and powerful, but still searching for polish. He spent his first couple of seasons learning behind some of the league's best defensive linemen, waiting for his chance to break through. Now, in 2025, he's no longer just a rotational piece. He's a force. After the game, Wright's smile said it all. "Man, it felt like everything slowed down," he told reporters, still clutching the ball he recovered. "We talked all week about taking the ball away, setting the tone early. To do it here, in London, representing Cleveland on this stage, that's special." Special, indeed. The turnover didn't just give Cleveland the ball, it shifted the momentum entirely. The offense, led by a confident young group, took advantage of the short field and punched in a touchdown just a few plays later. Suddenly, the energy was different. The Browns' sideline buzzed. The crowd was back in it. And from that point on, the defense fed off the moment. From Birmingham to Big Ben. For those who followed Wright's journey, his London heroics were the culmination of quiet persistence. Born in Elba, Alabama, Wright's rise was anything but conventional. No blue-blood college powerhouse. No early spotlight. Just hard work, grit, and belief. At UAB, he was known for his long arms and relentless motor. Scouts described him as a project with upside. What they missed was his unshakable mindset, a hunger to prove himself every single snap. That hunger was on full display in London. "Alex has been one of those guys who just keeps showing up," said head coach Kevin Stefanski after the game. "He's done everything we've asked of him: weight room, film, technique. And when you work like that, football rewards you. That play. That's effort meeting preparation. Indeed, effort has always been Wright's calling card. Whether chasing down quarterbacks or collapsing running lanes, he's the kind of player who refuses to quit on a rep. And on that wet, slippery field thousands of miles from home, his persistence paid off in unforgettable fashion. Browns fans take over London. What made the moment even sweeter was the backdrop, a raucous orange and brown invasion of Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Thousands of Browns fans made the trip across the Atlantic, waving flags, barking in unison, and chanting, "Here we go, Brownies!" from the upper decks. When Wright came up with the football, the eruption sounded like a home game in Cleveland. Even Londoners, neutral to the NFL's tribal rivalries, felt the energy shift. "It felt like we brought the dog pound with us," Wright laughed. "You could hear them barking after that turnover. That's love right there." In a city known for its football, the kind played with feet, the Browns made sure the other kind of football left an impression. A symbol of what's to come. Turnovers don't just win games. They define culture. For years, the Browns have been searching for that defensive identity, a unit that plays fast, smart, and physical. Under Schwartz, they've built that foundation, and Wright's fumble recovery in London felt like a signature stamp of that identity coming alive. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't luck. It was discipline, pressure, and awareness, everything the coaching staff preaches week after week. "Defense travels," Schwartz said post-game. "Whether it's Cleveland, London, or Mars, when you play with energy and discipline, good things happen." Alex's play was the perfect example of that. One moment, many ripples. Long after the game, as players exited the field and the fans filed out into the cool London night, Wright stayed behind for a few moments. He stood near midfield, holding the ball and taking in the view, the Union Jacks, the cheers, the cameras flashing. For a player who had battled for snaps, for recognition, and for respect, this was a personal victory, and a professional milestone. "It's crazy, man," he said softly. "You grow up dreaming of moments like this, and now it's real. That's the beauty of football. One play, one heartbeat, can change everything." For the Browns, Alex Wright's fumble recovery in London wasn't just a turnover. It was a turning point, a symbol that this team, with all its grit and growing confidence,